Borderlands 3 taught us all about the Timekeeper and everything in the events of Borderlands 4, and this is where we have proof of that. Hey, what's going on, guys? B-Flatten here with a brand new video today, and today we're going to be diving into a lore video. This was information sent to me by a person named Kabora. I'm going to have their links in the description. They also stream and play Borderlands 4, so huge shout out to them for pointing this out to me. Now, if you've ever played Borderlands 3 and you've gone to the Nyriad logs, I've probably mispronounced that, they mention a lot about things like Sirens and Guardians and everything like that, but there's one in particular that actually mentions the Timekeeper directly. We're going to go ahead and go over a couple of these logs, and we're going to go ahead and try to piece together what they're trying to say now that we have Borderlands 4 information in front of us. The one that directly mentions it, we'll start with that, and then we'll just go down the list from there. This is from Nyriad Log Secrets. With Pandora sealed and the Destroyer chained within, the greatest of the Eridians' secret is put to rest. It would be folly for me to think, though, that this is the last of them. There are countless other wonders or terrors they hid across the stars before my time. For every Grave Ward, Borderlands 3, Traveler, which I believe is Tales, or Timekeeper, Borderlands 4, there are surely a dozen more slumbering in forgotten vaults, which means to say that there are more than what we have seen so far, but Borderlands 3 told us about the Timekeeper in advance, even by name, which is pretty cool. This next one is coming from the Nyriad log Consciousness. The vaults operate as self-contained prisons. The Guardians have no need to serve as jail keepers, only as sentinels at the walls. So we know that they're now sentinels at the walls. Why then bring them so close to consciousness? What purpose has a thinking spear? And this is another really cool one from Nyriad log Change, which is what we see the Timekeeper do. I have seen the Guardians change their own bodies, lengthening their blades or strengthening their armor, which we saw in Phase 2 of the Timekeeper. I wonder how they might change themselves now in the absence of their makers. Another really cool one is from Nyriad log Keen. I suspect that some Guardians are keener than others. I've seen them acting of their own accord and even heard them speak, which is what the Timekeeper was doing. Took a humanoid form, spoke, and also acting on their own accord, pretty much enslaving Kairos, which is crazy. Was it freely given or stolen like the fire of the gods? Which is a big one there. So let's take a look back one more time. The seer in the director's cut was trying to prevent something from happening in the future. Lilith, Firehawking Elpis prevented that and stopped that. We heard that in the ending scene of DLC 6. Pandora was meant to be destroyed and the Great Vault opened, and thus Lilith should be dead, but not. Lilith also mentioned that she saw visions of the future and the coming war, and the only way to prevent that was to open the Timekeeper's vault, which we've done. The seer means that maybe he was trying to get the war to actually happen and protect the Timekeeper, is what I've been seeing. It could also mean that since we saw two Liliths, maybe there's a version of Lilith that we just haven't necessarily known. Like, what all did Vile Lecter do with Lilith, you know? Just makes us wonder if she's been hit with some of this shit, you know? We know that they can now change and act on their own accord, as we know that now. It looks like they take after their creators, which is another thing that we know of, which could mention anything along the lines of the two bosses in the Guardian takedown, which are other huge ones. Nyriad log Guardians kind of talks about that a little bit. This one mentions the Eridians left their mark on countless worlds, which could be Kairos, but few of their creations are as uncanny as the Guardians. They are quasi-life, a half-truth, driven by instructions they only partially understand. They are hardly the ideal custodians one would choose to guard the leashed terrors of the universe, but in the result, imperfection. They are at least mirroring their creators, um, which is massive to think about, because if they can mirror their creators, but they have sort of like this free will, um, it makes you wonder if there is some benevolence to them. I don't think they truly were. Um, it's massive to think about all of this, because you gotta think that Lilith is kind of the centerfold of everything here, right? And I saw that Gathalion was kind of talking about different versions of Lilith recently. I'm actually gonna pull this up right now because I know that he was tossing some theories on this, but it looks like there were like two different versions, the one that was able to give us like these visions, and the one that we know and love like throughout the entire series, which is definitely something to consider. I feel like Vile Lecter did a lot more than what we ended up finding out in Borderlands 4. Nathalion was mentioning that Lilith is kind of just the centerfold of everything. She's kind of like the reason every event has happened, you know? Which is him saying directly, Lilith is a paradox. I believe she created the Eridians, Vaults, and Sirens, and has been pulling the strings from outside time as a result of being in the phase, which we now know is location. She is, will be, and always has been behind everything. I also believe the Watcher is her emissary, which that's a mind-blowing theory just in and of itself. And these Nyriad logs kind of back that up a little bit. I don't know. Before I get too mind blown, I think I'm gonna stop here. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments if you think Lilith is truly behind it all. If there's gonna be like more logs like this, maybe. And I also encourage going back in time and finding all these Nyriad logs, whether you do it in game or whether you look it up on a wiki or something. Highly encourage that. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next video. My name is B. Flattened, and I'm signing on out of here. Take care, all. Laters.